All right, let's dive into something truly special. I mean, we're talking about more than just a meal here, folks. Chicken biryani. This deep dive, well, we're going to unpack what makes biryani such a cultural icon. Whether you're, curious about its history or maybe looking to impress at your next dinner party, this is for you.
Yeah. One of the things I find so fascinating about biryani is its history. I mean, it's deep rooted in the Indian subcontinent. A lot of people think it's like a fusion of Persian, Mughal, and Indian traditions all coming together over
It's
centuries.
like a culinary time capsule. Our source mentions that biryani is like a staple at festivals and gatherings.
Exactly. It's like, you think weddings, Eid celebrations, big family get togethers. Biryani is often like the centerpiece there. It symbolizes abundance and celebration.
The source talks about biryani being an experience and I mean they're not wrong. Aromatic spices and a symphony of flavors. I'm
Yeah.
intrigued. But where do we even begin to break down something so complex?
Okay, let's start with the marinade. I mean, that's the heart of the biryani. Yogurt tenderizes the chicken, ginger and garlic add a pungent base. Then you add the symphony of spices, turmeric for its warmth, red chili powder for the heat, and garam masala. It's a complex blend that gives biryani that signature aroma.
I'm already taking notes.
Yeah,
And I see both ghee and oil are used. What's the reason for both?
that's a great question. You get a richness that you wouldn't get with just one. Ghee adds a nutty depth while the oil keeps those spices from burning. And then the flavors, they stay vibrant.
Okay, it's all about balance, right? And speaking of balance, the source is really specific about the rice. Basmati, parboiled 70% cooked. Why is basmati rice so important to biryani?
Texture. Basmati has a lower amylose content than other types of rice, which means it stays separate and fluffy. Even after it absorbs all those juices from the chicken and spices. The parboiling makes sure it cooks evenly and that it doesn't turn mushy in the final dish.
Fluffy rice, bursting with flavor. Okay, starting to understand the hype.
Yeah.
Now, the source also mentions caramelized onions and saffron milk. Those always add a special something.
Absolutely. So caramelized onions bring a sweetness to balance out those savory spices. And saffron, well, saffron has these unique compounds that create like a delicate floral aroma, a slightly earthy flavor. Infusing it in milk it helps distribute all those nuances throughout the dish.
Wow. Every ingredient has a purpose. Now, the source talks about layering the chicken and the rice. They sprinkle the saffron-infused milk and those fried onions between each layer. Is that just for presentation?
Well, it's partly visual, yes, but it also serves a purpose during cooking. It really makes sure those flavors meld and that every grain of rice is infused with the spices.
Okay, so we've built this beautiful layered biryani pot, and then comes the dum cooking method. What exactly is that?
Dum essentially means to breathe in Hindi. It's slow cooking in a tightly sealed pot. So the steam from the rice and the chicken, it gets trapped inside and it gently cooks everything perfectly. That creates a really tender chicken and all those layered flavors really meld together.
Sounds magical. The source suggests serving biryani with rogita or a salad.
Yeah.
Why those accompaniments?
It's contrast. Raita, it's a cooling yogurt dip, helps cut through the richness, and a fresh salad, it adds a bright, crunchy element to the experience.
Okay, so we've got this cultural context, these intricate layers of flavor, even the science behind it all. This is way more than just a recipe.
Yeah, and we've only just scratched the surface. We should go delve a little deeper into the cultural significance and some of the regional variations of this incredible dish.
Biryani, it really does reflect centuries of heritage and cultural exchange.
Wow.
It's a dish that tells a story.
It absolutely does. And like any good story, it has different, chapters and interpretations. As biryani traveled across the Indian subcontinent, it evolved into countless regional variations.
So it's not just, one chicken biryani, but a whole family of biryanis, each with its own personality.
Yeah, exactly. So you have Hyderabadi biryani with its fiery spices and rich meaty flavors, or you have Lucknowi biryani, which is known for like these delicate aromas and a more subtle use of saffron. Even the way they're cooked can vary. Some are cooked on a low flame, others in a hot oven.
Makes you wonder if there's a right way to make biryani.
That's the beauty of culinary traditions. There are traditional methods, of course, but there's also room for interpretation, honoring the essence of the dish, but making it your own.
I love that.
Yeah.
Our source breaks down all the steps. But for someone making biryani for the first time, what's the most important thing?
Patience, without a doubt. Biryani it's a labor of love. You need time for those flavors to develop, for the chicken to marinate, and for that rice to cook to that perfect texture.
So it's a dish you savor, from preparation to that final bite.
Exactly. And that mindfulness, it extends to the dining experience too. Biryani is meant to be enjoyed slowly, appreciating the interplay of those textures and aromas.
Oh, speaking of aromas, I can only imagine how incredible it must smell when biryani's is simmering away.
It's captivating. That warm, earthy fragrance of the spices, that tender aroma of the chicken, the nutty scent of the ghee fills the entire house. It creates this anticipation that's almost unbearable.
It's like an invitation to gather and celebrate. And we can't forget the visual appeal. I mean, those layers we talked about create a stunning presentation.
Absolutely. Biryani engages all the senses. The polys, the vibrant colors from the saffron, caramelized onions, fresh herbs. Then the textures, the fluffy rice, the tender chicken, the crispy fried onions. It's a feast for the eyes just as much as it is for the palate.
It's easy to see why the source calls it an experience rather than just a meal.
And that experience, it goes beyond just the individual. You know, biryani, with its generous portions and its ability to bring people together, is often shared. Large platters placed in the center of the table, everyone digging in, sharing stories and laughter. It creates a sense of community and togetherness.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect dish to share with friends and family. And I can't help but notice that the source calls it a crowd pleaser, almost guaranteeing everyone will love it.
There's something about biryani that transcends individual preferences, you know, that combination of fragrant spices, tender meat, fluffy rice. It seems to just have this universal appeal. It's comforting, it's celebratory, and it's a dish that has the power to create memories.
This whole deep dive is making me rethink my perception of food. It's not just fuel, it's like a window into history, culture, and the human experience.
I couldn't agree more. Food has this incredible ability to connect us to our past, to different cultures and to each other. And biryani, with its rich history and its ability to bring people together, exemplifies this perfectly.
This conversation has me feeling well inspired, not just to cook biryani, but to explore more cuisines and uncover the stories that they hold.
That's fantastic. There's a whole world of flavors and culinary traditions out there just waiting to be discovered. And who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself adding your own unique twist to these age-old recipes.
That's a challenge I'm ready to take on. This
Okay.
deep dive has been, well, it's been a real eye-opener, and I can't wait to put what I've learned into practice.
And as you embark on your own culinary adventure, remember that food is more than just ingredients and techniques. It's about passion, creativity, and the joy of sharing a delicious experience with others.
It's funny, we started by talking about biryani as like a cultural icon, but it's so much more than that, right? It's a personal journey, it's a family tradition, it's a celebration of all these flavors and a testament to the power of food to connect us.
Yeah, and that's what makes exploring food so enriching. I mean, it's not just about what's on the plate, but all the stories and the history and the human connection behind every bite.
You know, our source's passion for chicken biryani is contagious. It's their favorite food. The dish evokes memories and brings joy to those they share it with. It really highlights that emotional connection we have with food.
Yeah. It reminds us that food is more than just sustenance. You know, it's woven into our lives. It's part of special occasions, creating traditions, strengthening bonds.
So for those listening, maybe this deep dive has sparked a craving to try chicken biryani, or maybe it's inspired you to revisit a family recipe that you love.
Whatever it may be, I hope this exploration has given you a newfound appreciation for the artistry and the cultural significance of this dish. It's truly remarkable.
Our source says that biryani is a crowd pleaser. Imagine, creating this symphony of flavors, these aromas, filling your kitchen, and then the joy of sharing it with loved ones.
Think about all the conversations, the stories, the memories that'll be made, all sparked by a dish that's been passed down through generations.
And who knows, maybe you'll even add your own personal touch, right?
Yeah.
A pinch of this, a dash of that, a secret ingredient from your grandmother.
Yeah, that's the beauty of food. It's constantly evolving, adapting, and reflecting the people and the cultures that embrace it. So go forth, explore chicken biryani, and let your taste buds and your imagination be your guide.
Well, this deep dive has been a delight. I feel like I've learned so much more than just a recipe. It's like a whole new perspective on the power of food to connect us to our heritage, our families, and the world around us.
That's what we hope to achieve with each deep dive, to spark that curiosity, to ignite that passion, and to leave you with a craving for knowledge and maybe even a little bit of hunger.
So, until next time, happy cooking and bon appetit.